Hi guys, where is Nigel Farage this week? Is he in his constituency listening to the problems of voters, or is he in Washington DC? Now, I don't think it requires a great deal of knowledge to answer that question. So it was interesting that Politics Joe visited Clacton to speak with the Reform UK leader's constituents to get their opinion on the guy. However, while the journalists here interviewed a lot of people, I wanted to share with you this clip where a constituent highlighted the actual job an MP is supposed to be doing as opposed to what Farage wants to be. Have a listen.
Bus travel.
What's wrong with the bus travel?
Well, there's not a very good service at all. We live in Great Clacton. There is one bus an hour, if you're lucky. Often I come into town on the bus, it's not too bad that way, but going back, if they're short of drivers, it seems to be that bus they always cancel. Mm-hmm. And yet buses to Jaywick run 3 or 4 an hour.
How long have you lived here for?
See, this is exactly what Nigel Farage is supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be listening to his constituents, listening to their problems, and then highlighting these problems in Parliament, be it in a Transport Committee or be it in the House of Commons itself. But what has Farage been doing instead? He's been talking about Donald Trump, he's been talking about trade, he's been talking about immigration, he's been talking about grooming gangs, he's been talking about everything but anything but Clacton. See, his job is supposed to be opening a surgery, listening to the concerns of his voters or his constituents, and highlighting them in the House of Commons or in Parliament in general. But what has Farage been doing instead? Well, he's been talking about everything else apart from Clacton in the House of Commons, and he's been over in the US celebrating and campaigning for Donald Trump. In other parts of this clip, and I'll leave a link in the description to the full video, in the other parts of this interview or these interviews, people were talking about how Nigel is going to do great things for Clacton. But he never talks about Clacton. He never raises the issues of Clacton in the House of Commons. See, he's supposed to raise these concerns in committees. He's supposed to be talking about the problems of Clacton. Clacton is one of the poorest areas in Britain. High unemployment, lack of investment, poor public transport, as this lady has pointed out here. So Farage should be raising these concerns, but they're not sexy. They're not as interesting for the public as maybe immigration or small boats. See, Farage doesn't care about Clacton in the same way as he didn't care about the farmers or the fishing communities back in 2016. He told them, we need to leave the European Union and everything will be great. Would he take responsibility for the disaster that followed? No, not his fault. The same way as he'll probably say to these people, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about the buses. And technically there's nothing he can do apart from lobby on behalf of his constituents, raise these concerns in the House of Commons and in committees. I have yet to hear Nigel Farage talk about buses in the House of Commons or in committees. Why is he not demanding more buses, more services, more investment in public transport? Because he doesn't care. Because he's using the people of Clacton to promote himself and his party. He's using that platform to convince other people in other parts of the UK to vote for Reform UK. We've seen it before with Brexit. We've seen it before in 2019. We've seen it before when it came to other constituencies. And we're seeing it in the future when it comes to Wales and probably Scotland. Farage is not campaigning in these constituencies to improve the lives of ordinary people. It's about himself and his party. So while these constituents may raise real concerns, legitimate concerns about public transport or about crime on the streets or about unemployment, who they're channeling these concerns to is a bit pointless, is a waste of time. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.